Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 5 years, we've been asking the branchpreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, and I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and we have a great show today. We're meeting with Lou DeFrancisco, president and COO of Get in Shape for Women. And Get in Shape for Women was founded in 2006 by Brian Cook after 15 years of leadership in the personal training and franchise sales industry. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment on Franchise Interviews.
Are you one of those special people who are willing to go after your dreams and goals? Are you ready to fulfill that dream of owning your own business with the security of a proven brand? The opportunity to take control of your future and own a Rita's Italian Ice franchise is within your reach.
Rita's is seeking success-oriented individuals who are ready to make a change in their life, and Rita's offers unparalleled training and support to assure your success. And did you know the frozen treat industry is a recession-proof industry, and there are Rita's in 23 states currently with 540 stores open. Rita's Italian Ice has been around for 25 years and is listed as a top-performing franchise by the Wall Street Journal.
Now here's the really good part. Rita's Italian Ice is a unique and amazing taste treat. It's smoother than a snow cone, and it combines ice with real fresh fruit. The real fruit adds dramatically to the taste, and it comes in over 40 flavors. The ice and fruit are mixed on site and made fresh daily, and it is delicious.
You'll want to know more about this exciting and successful franchise opportunity. Go to www.ownaritas.com and get all your questions answered. That's www.ownaritas.com to take control of your dreams and future today. You don't want to wait any longer to be a part of this adventure. www.ownaritas.com.
Franchisers, are you looking to reach aspiring entrepreneurs looking to buy a franchise? Are you looking to reach a highly educated audience on franchising? For over 4 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get inside tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Check out our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys, and our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. Get 3 months of free advertising when you sign up for our 1-year package. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 5 years we've been asking the branchpreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and as we were saying earlier, we have a great show today. We're meeting with Lou DeFrancisco, the president and COO of Get in Shape for Women. And Get in Shape for Women was founded in 2006 by Brian Cook after 15 years of leadership in personal training and franchise sales. Hey, Lou, how you doing today? Welcome to the show.
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure, Lou. Lou, we always like to ask our guests where you're calling from this morning.
I am currently in our corporate office today in Needham, Massachusetts, which is just outside Boston.
Okay, good. Is it getting cold up there?
It is. Might get a little snow, actually, today.
That's what I heard. It's coming our way, too, in Pennsylvania. So that's, I guess that's good. So what were you doing, Lou, before getting involved with Get in Shape for Women?
Prior to Get in Shape for Women, I was in the health and fitness industry, working at a gym for 5 years, going through the ranks, doing a little of everything. Front desk, operations, sales, training, marketing, and eventually general manager of a health club. So really prior to that, I was in the IT field, actually. So knew IT wasn't a passion of mine, found health and fitness, loved it, and then was able to stumble upon Get in Shape for Women about 3 years ago, and met with Brian and fell in love with the model, and that was when we had 30 studios open at the time, so it's been pretty cool to see this growth. We just opened up our 100th studio just 2 weeks ago, so it's been a pretty exciting time for us.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's always a milestone, isn't it, that 100 number, from what I understand?
It is, absolutely.
6 years. That's fantastic. And your experience, I mean, it's so important too, Lou, along with Brian's, experience. We always tell our listeners, to look towards the experience of the leaders of the organization. So I think that's so important. You guys have had some incredible accolades too. I mean, I noticed, and I didn't mention it in the introduction, let's see, Entrepreneur Magazine listed you as the number 7 spot of the top new 50. You guys were ranked number 68 of the top 100 fastest growing, number 248 of the top 500, and then there was a bunch of other ones as well. So, I mean, congratulations on all that. What do you guys contribute that to?
I think it's really a testament to the system that not only that Brian built, but also a testament to the quality owners that we have in the franchise that are, you talked about background, passion in health and fitness. That's what we look for in our franchisees, a passion for health and fitness, a passion for helping change people's lives, because that's really what our model affords people to do. And without that, combining that passion along with the great system that we have within our model, it breeds success. And one of the other things that accolades, it's not an accolade, one of the other things that we're really proud of that not a lot of people know about is that we haven't closed a store yet.
Wow.
And so we're trying to keep that record going, and 100 stores open in 6 years, not one closing. I think that's something that unfortunately sometimes it's part of franchising.
Right, of course.
And there's all sorts of reasons why we've been able to accomplish that feat. I think combination of great systems and great people, bringing great owners in and them executing on the system.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know. I mean, when you hear a number like that, I mean, batting 100%. I mean, and as you say, Lou, is even like, your big ones like your Subways or McDonald's. I mean, there's always, one or two for one reason or another, So I think that's fantastic. How do you typically describe, I mean, if you were at like a franchise show and someone came up to your booth and the typical question is always like, so what do you guys do? How do you typically respond to the question?
We are technically a small group personal training model for women only. Okay. That's what we do, but who are we is another way we describe ourselves. We are a transformation model. And what we mean by that is that we're helping women achieve a transformation in their bodies and also a transformation in their lives. And we do that through the 4 components of our model. And this is, what sets us apart is we're not trying to be everything to everyone. We do one thing. We are a transformation model, and we do it better than anyone. And we achieve that transformation through the 4 components of our model: weight training, cardio, nutrition, and accountability. And that's really what sets us apart, is that it's all 4 components. We tell our ladies, if you take one out, it just doesn't work.
Right.
And it's the combination of, most people know the benefits of weight training, of cardio, of working out. That's on the outside what we're selling. That's what the women see. Right. Really what we're delivering, though, is a nutrition program and an accountability program. And those are the 2 keys. Obviously women need to come in and work out. That contributes to them getting to their goal. And oftentimes it is a weight loss goal. But the nutrition is key. We always say you can't work off a bad diet. You can't work out 5 times a week and eat bad and expect to change your body.
Sure.
And then the accountability piece is really what we're most proud of, because it's the owners, the managers, the trainers, the people that we have as our employees in the studios. this is what they love about the model is they get to really truly affect change in these women's lives by holding them accountable, by making sure they show up for their workouts, by providing nutrition consults and talking nutrition on the workout floor, and then weighing them in every week. We weigh these women in every single week to keep them on track to hit their goal. And it works, and it's a scientifically based program. It works 100% of the time.
And the pictures prove it too. Yeah, I've seen the pictures too on the website, Lou. Which it must be.
We've got great testimonials.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, very strong testimonials. You know, and you know, we were talking earlier before the show. My wife and I, you know, we were on the website. I mean, it seems like it's a feel-good type of business. I imagine that your franchise business owners, when they get to see that transformation, I can't imagine what that feels like. You know, but it must be a tremendous feeling. When
I first started in the franchise, I was working in the corporate office. We had a corporate studio that we owned, and I had the opportunity to run it for a while. And you know, the things that stick out vividly in my mind are those first couple women that I was able to sign up, and it wasn't the sales process. It was getting them, putting them on the scale, weighing them in that first week, in that second week, and seeing results, seeing them lose 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 7 pounds. And just the ecstatic smiles, and sometimes there's tears, and it's just, like you said, it's a feel good. That's what I vividly remember about my early time in the studios in this franchise, and it's fantastic. And that's what we try to convey a little bit through our, you know, we're teaching franchise school, we're doing our quarterly meetings, trying to help pump people up, get people into that. This is a model that's based on transformation, and the great part about it is that when we focus on results, we say everyone wins. The client wins, the trainers, the managers, they win because they're doing what they love, and the studio wins because now they're creating that culture of transformation. They're creating that awareness inside the community of, hey, if you want a great place to work out, that you're also going to hit your goals and lose weight and look great and feel good about yourself, you got to come check out Get in Shape for Women.
That's fantastic. I'm sure the clients become one of your best sales tools as well, I imagine, you know.
They are. They're great. We rely on word of mouth marketing. We ask for referrals. When we hit your goal, can I expect that you're going to give me a referral, a friend, a family member? And then we also have had the greatest testament to the model is that we've had a bunch of clients become trainers, become managers, and even become owners.
Boy.
They love it so much they want to be a part of it in some way. Sometimes it's through employment. Some of them go back at their personal training certifications. Some of them have even gone on to buy franchises, and that's just, talk about just an awesome feeling. You don't have to sell the woman. She comes in, she's like, hey, I was a client. I lost 25 pounds, and I love it, and I want to provide this to more women. I want to help more women. So it's pretty cool feeling when you can do something you love.
Are most of the franchise owners then, Lou, are they women? You know, I mean, you guys just hit that 100 position, or your 100th unit. Who are your franchise owners? I mean, what were they doing before becoming franchise owners?
There's a wide array. You know, people come from all different backgrounds, so it's tough because there isn't just one or two or even three areas that we look for. But what we do look for is a passion for health and fitness. Okay. You gotta love what you do. You're delivering health and fitness. Passion for changing people's lives, because that's ultimately what we're doing. Is what we're delivering is workouts and nutrition and accountability. But really, what we're delivering is we're changing people's lives, and part of that is being able to wear to be a coach and put that coach hat on and. And the coach, if you're an owner, you're coaching your manager and your trainers on how to hold women accountable and to deliver on what we promise. And if you're a manager or trainer, you got to be able to coach these women because they've gotten to a point where most of our women have tried different things. They've tried the gyms and the personal trainers and everything in between, and they need someone to hold them accountable. That's the key to success. So So those are the two key criteria we look for: is passion for health and fitness, passion for changing people's lives, and then some of the other things that we like to see is have you had a background prior in owning, operating a business? That skill set always comes in handy.
Sure.
Do you have a background in sales? That can come in handy because part of being in business obviously is you need to make money to keep doors open, and there's a sales process involved. Those are some of the other ancillary things that we'll look at. I mentioned earlier we have clients that have become owners, so any kind of personal transformation story is powerful. So not only women, but we have some men owners that have their own personal transformation stories, losing whether it's 20 pounds or 120 pounds. We've got owners that have found health and fitness through different means, different times in their lives, and made a change in their life for the better, and now they feel good about themselves, and now they want to help other people do that as well. So we've got people from Wall Street or people that have had their own small businesses, corporate America people, housewives. We run the gamut of all different types of backgrounds.
And I think that diversity also adds to the franchise system as well, doesn't it, Lou? Is having all those different backgrounds, at your quarterly meetings or, your annual meetings, just sharing of best practices as well.
It is. It's great. And it's great when we can get everyone together and we try and do that. We do it on a quarterly basis at a minimum, and it's great because each of our owners have different strengths and weaknesses, and from our corporate perspective, we try and figure that out and help them improve on their weaknesses and grow their strengths, but then they can help each other, and we try and give the owners a lot of time to interact and mingle and work with each other as well, so that they can talk about, hey, I ran into this situation. Have you my trainer's doing this, or my manager doing that, and they can help each other as well. We're just in the process of forming our franchise advisory council, so we're excited about that as well. We know that'll continue to improve our communication with the whole franchise.
That's one of the benefits, too, of getting into franchising, too, isn't it, Lou? Is, that sharing of best practices. I mean, it's not something that you get when you're on your own, So if you went out and started your own fitness center or whatever it is, you're pretty much on your own. In this situation right now, you have 100 other people you can kind of share ideas.
Absolutely.
I think it gives comfort, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think that works in two different ways. There's a comfort zone in buying into a franchise, or at least there should be, knowing that all right, there's a proven system here somewhere that works, and all different franchises have different levels of their systems, different depths, how involved they are, and then once you've got some traction, you've got some people that have shown proven performance, then you know that there's always a sharing of best practices, and you can learn from each other, and that's how the franchise continues to grow as well. And it's another reason why we try and meet with our owners on a regular basis, so that we can have that communication, and if there is something that's working great or not working great, we can talk about it. We can figure out a solution and work together to keep this franchise moving forward. Because at the end of the day, it's a partnership.
Right, absolutely.
We want to build and grow this brand of Get in Shape for Women, so that it's not just a benefit for the franchisor, but the franchisee benefits as well.
Well, you were mentioning about wearing a lot of hats sometimes, during the day. Is there a typical day for a franchisee, Lou? Would you say, from the moment you go into in the morning till the end of the day? And
yes and no. In general, yes. You come into the studio, there's going to be women working out, and you want to make sure you're delivering a great workout, coaching them, mentoring them, talking nutrition on the floor, delivering nutrition consults. Weekly, we're going to weigh these women in. So there's some basics of the day-to-day stuff that you're going to be doing, you're going to be doing, but every day is different, and that's one of the beauties of this model, is that you meet different women. The clientele, it's small group personal training, so it's that personal training one-on-one feel in a small group format. We max it out at 4 women every half hour. And so in an hour, you're going to have maximum 8 women in there. That's 8 different personalities, 8 different situations, scenarios, issues that you can deal with. And that's the fun part of it is, sometimes it's the encouragement, pat on the back, hey, you're doing a great job, keep it up.
Right.
Other times it's the, roll up your sleeves, all right, it's time to get down and dirty. We need to be serious. We need to really get you back on track, or this is my job now, is to hold you accountable. And then you've got sales. You got phone calls or people walking in, or we have different promotions each month. There's a lot of different things that'll happen, and then it's just keeping the place clean, organized, doing your daily operational duties. But for the most part, it's a fun job to come to, or at least it should be.
Absolutely.
I can only compare it to my previous experience in the IT world, and it's like I'm stuck behind a computer,
right,
doing stuff, and that wasn't fun for me. I realized that pretty quickly. When I was in the fitness field, and whether I was in a gym or in a Get in Shape for Women studio, the fun part is you're around people all the time. You're always client facing. You've got to be upbeat, energetic, and you can't fake it.
Absolutely.
So that's why we come back to it's not for everyone.
Right.
This job, this franchise isn't for everyone, because you got to have that passion, because the women, they'll see right through it.
Sure, absolutely.
And so if you've got that passion, you're going to get up for work every day and tell yourself, wow, I can't believe I get to go to work in a studio and help women work out and reach goals and change their lives.
Absolutely. That's very powerful, isn't it? How has technology played a role in the business, Lou? I mean, again, you've been doing this for a while now. I guess technology plays some sort of role, doesn't it?
A little bit. From a basic standpoint, looking at the model, there isn't a lot of technology technically that we use on a daily basis, meaning the women come in, they work out. There's weights, there's machines. We're putting them through workouts. They're on pieces of cardio equipment. We're talking about nutrition, which is basic nutrition. So where technology will play a role for us is more on the back end for our franchisees and the franchisor. And we have a web-based application that houses everything from, lead flow, sales, CRM, information like that the franchisees input into our application that we can then view and share results with. And on the client side, and this may just be, I'm sure will evolve. We've looked into different technologies, whether it's apps on smartphones or things like that we could potentially use. We've played around with, experimented with texting programs for marketing purposes or things like that. But when we boil it down to it, our demographic is 40 to 65-year-old women, 35 to 65-year-old women. And more of that population is becoming more tech-savvy. Right. But we know they're not necessarily on their cell phones all day long or need that. They're not necessarily technology-driven. And the other part of it is, on average, the women work out about 3 times a week in our studios. They have appointments and they set their appointments for approximately 3 times a week. So that's their 3 hours in the week to themselves, where they want to come in, forget about everything that's going on in their lives, have fun, enjoy themselves, have a trainer there telling them what to do, coaching them, and not so from that respect, it's a little bit old-fashioned in that it's, hey, come in here. We want you to turn your cell phone off. We want you to focus on the workout, focus on yourself, and it's some good old-fashioned training, strength training and cardio. We're going to push you on the cardio, and you're going to sweat.
Absolutely. What is the training like for your new franchisees? I mean, once someone decides that they want to, you like them, they like you, they want to become part of the system, do they typically go to headquarters? Is that how it works?
Yes. We have 1 week of franchise school, and we run it once a month. We have it going on right now, actually. So it's 9 to 6, Monday through Friday. It's a little bit of a long week.
Mm-hmm.
We always tell everyone that, it's a long week. We're going to actually do a lot of stuff, but we're going to have fun this week, and
right.
It's going to fly by. And it really does. We have a classroom setting. We're part of the day. Each day we're in the classroom talking about the nuts and bolts of whether it's going through a sales script, a phone call script, going over operations, going over whatever the nuts and bolts are of how to operate these studios. And then in our corporate office, we also have a studio. We have a working studio where we've got our weight training equipment, we've got cardio, we've got the front desk, we've got everything laid out like a typical studio. And we use that for real-life role-playing, practicing. We work the clients out. The franchisees, whether it's the owner or the manager, we put them through workouts throughout the week as if they are a client and we're the trainer.
Right.
So they get to have that experience if they've never been working out in one. And we do a ton of sales training and role-playing, so we're actually live in the studio. So they feel like, all right, I'm not just sitting in a conference room pretending to sell. I get to be behind the front desk, and a woman walks in the front door. And hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And then we get to practice the walk-in and how to handle that from a sales perspective, or taking a phone call or having a sales appointment, what the workouts look like, just giving them a comfort level of what their studio is going to look like, feel like, when theirs is built out and ready to open.
Maybe we could take a minute, too, to talk about the location, too, Lou. How much space is required for a studio, and what is, I guess you could say, like the ideal location, or what do you look for in a location?
These spaces are approximately 800 to 1,200 square feet.
Okay.
And, ideally is that, 900 to 1,000 is really all we need. It's a nice small footprint. It keeps overhead low, rent low, which is really nice. In terms of employees, we have one manager and one full-time trainer, one part-time trainer. So from an overhead standpoint, it keeps costs fairly low. Location-wise, we look at demographics, obviously. We look at different towns, but in terms of specific location, we're more of a destination location. Our marketing drives women to either pick up the phone or come in to the studio. So we don't have to be right on Main Street. We don't have to be in the most popular strip mall plaza. We don't need to be next to the Starbucks or whatever big destination areas out there, because we know the women are going to find us, and we're also going to build that word of mouth through the community. So we are typically in a retail space, but it's not. It doesn't have to be the right out in front where everyone can see you, because the marketing that we do is going to drive women in either to pick up the phone or to walk in or to come find us. And that allows us to be able to keep overhead down as well for our franchisees.
Oh, absolutely. That's so important. So you guys just recently hit your 100th franchise. What part of the country are you mostly in now? Is it the Northeast, Lou? And
it is.
What are the plans for the future? You're looking to spread across the United States, and maybe we could talk a little bit about that, like that 3 to 5 year plan.
We are primarily in the Northeast. Massachusetts is where our headquarters are at, and that's where a majority of our studios are. We've got 65 approximately in Massachusetts right now, and we've got some in New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island. So that's primarily where we are, but we have started to spread out across the country. One of our growth plans is to sell area representative agreements. And we just sold our first, and it happened to be our 100th studio as well. So new franchisees, a couple outside of Chicago, are our first area representatives. And what that means, what they can do now is they own and operate one, then they have the ability to solicit and support 9 other studios. We'll help them to sell those studios, get them open, and then they'll help to support them. In exchange, they're going to get a percentage of the franchise fee and a percentage of the royalty.
That's great.
So that's one of our strategies for growth, is looking at new markets and opening up new markets with area representatives in place, because those are going to be key people to partner with for us. We're going to provide them with great support, hold them accountable to high standards, so then they know how to, in turn, support the other 9 studios that they're going to be overseeing, so to speak, from a support standpoint. That doesn't mean we're not going to be involved. Obviously, we'll still provide the same support, but that added level, which we're excited to start rolling out, and we've been getting some good interest. And to start out, we're gonna only offer 1 per state. Our growth plans for next year in the coming years is a 25% growth rate, meaning 25% on top of last year. So let's say we end the year with 100, end of the year today at 100. Our goal would be to open up an additional 25 next year.
Right.
And then 25% of 125 the year after that, et cetera. So we're not trying to, we're purposely not trying to grow at, 100%, 200%, 300%. Like some businesses can and have done in the past. We want to make sure our growth is smart and that we're not going to grow just to grow and just to sell franchises. I said earlier, I talked about we haven't closed a store yet. That statistic is really important to us, and it's important to our franchisees. And we know in time that's going to help us sell more franchises and gain more interest in the brand. And so we want to make sure that the growth is there as long as the performance of the franchise as a whole stays there as well. So we keep a close eye on not just sales, but also performance within the franchise, and making sure that those two, that they don't get out of whack.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. What's the best way for our listeners, Lou, to get more information on becoming a franchisee and all the other services that you guys provide? Any website?
Our website has everything, getinshapeforwomen.com. You can find out more information about what we do inside the studios from a client standpoint, and then we have an Own a Studio section where you can get in shape for women.
That's great. And I want to thank you again for coming on the show. I think you guys have a great franchise opportunity, and congratulations on all the accolades that you've received over the years. I think it's wonderful. It shows you're doing a great job over there, and you do have a great franchise system. So I'd already like to invite you back in 2013 as you guys continue to grow. Thanks. Well, you have a great day today, and we'll be right back with more franchise interviews.
Franchise Interviews. For over 4 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get inside tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Check out our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And don't forget to listen to our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Need a business loan? Talk to Diamond Financial Services, the experts in franchise financing nationwide. Whether you're looking to start a franchise, acquire an existing franchise, or expand your territory through opening new locations, Diamond Financial stands by your side start to finish. From pre-qualification to packaging and presenting your application to securing a financial commitment and through the loan closing process, Diamond Financial is there. While you're waiting, thousands of others are making their financial dreams come true. Don't wait any longer. Pre-qualify now by completing a confidential, no-obligation financial analysis. Let's face it, traditional banks just aren't in the business of financing small business. At Diamond Financial, we specialize in securing franchise loans from $100,000 to $3 million and equipment leasing up to $150,000. Let us help you get started. Go to www.franchisefunding.net or call 877-508-2274. That's franchisefunding.net, 877-508-2274.
Hi, everyone. This is Marty McDermott from Franchise Interviews, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising, where each podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. You know, Don and I have been hosting Franchise Interviews now over 4 years and slowly approaching that magic number 250. And during that time frame, you can imagine we've had some incredible quotes on the show. Last week we did a Franchise Rewind with Tariq Farid. And Tariq is the founder of the Edible Arrangements franchise opportunity. And if you're new to franchising, or if you just started your franchise search, this will really put things in perspective as far as what makes a successful franchisee. So we're going to call this one the Franchise Secret. Do whatever this guy says, and I think you're going to enjoy this one. So, again, enjoy this edition of Great Quotes in Franchising from Franchise Interviews.
Set up. There's been a nice diversity too. It sounds like of your franchisees, Tariq. You know, in studying edible arrangements. You know, I mean, it sounds like it's been lawyers and accountants and just a nice mix. You know,
a very nice mix to a point. Even to a point where it surprised us in the beginning. And I remember when we started franchising in the beginning, I had no franchise experience. I mean, I was a retailer, and I was making this product with my brother and delivering it. And you would have people coming up and saying, I want to buy a franchise. And, you know, Don could appreciate this because he's been here for a while. I remember talking to Michael Said and everyone. And, somebody would say, I'm a lawyer. I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. And so they go, wait a minute, you're going to go from a lawyer and cutting fruit? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
And then we have some of these people in our system right now, and they're very, very successful business people. And I have the utmost admiration for them to, where I kind of was hesitant, and I remember I always share a story with people that I had some people come in the beginning, and I was convincing them not to buy because I didn't think I really didn't want them to fail.
Right.
And I thought they had good careers and things like that, but they turned out to be incredible franchisees where they own 5, 6, 7 stores, so they do great.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of if you just follow the system, no matter what your background is, and usually age might not have to do with it much either. Of course, the older you are, more experienced, maybe you have a little bit of an advantage, but really you just follow the system, you train them and everything, very high chance of being successful.
And that's really the secret. I mean, we do our discovery days, and I always try to share that with even the prospects. So whatever system you go into, there's a reason you're buying a franchise. And one of my most successful franchisees, who was our third store, I walked into his store after about a year of convincing him how to do it, and he always, he was a successful businessman before that, and he always gave me a bit of a hard time. And then, he kind of saw that we were going in a certain momentum, and he started to follow, and he sat in front of his whole crew one day and said, okay, guys, from now on, whatever these guys say goes. However they say it, we do it. We don't question it, and when their trainers come in or they come in, and he is the most successful franchisee in our system. He is single-handedly the most successful franchisee in our system. And all it is that as he's duplicated, his concept from 1 store to 2 to 3 to 4, he followed that simple formula. And, the burden was on us to make sure that we provide him the solutions, provide him the support, be it him, his managers, and from that he benefited. And he's, he may have 1 or 2 years of experience of running the stores. We had 5 or 6 by then. So that's exactly what it has done, and it does work every time.
Yeah, that's a great story, Tariq, because it's been a common theme on our show, Don, hasn't it? Where we've had some of the most successful franchisees to some pretty big systems, and they've all said the same thing, Tariq, is all they did was just follow the system. They didn't change anything, and became very successful. So that's great to hear.
And especially if it's working, if you're getting on board a system that is working, that is growing, what do they say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
absolutely.
Why do anything? Just take advantage of it. And I always use that analogy of with some of our franchisees to say, I hate to take it down to this level, but it is kind of a kindergartner / 6th grader effect, where I've been in this building 6 years, so I kind of know every corner and the nook and cranny, and I know how the principal, what he likes and what he doesn't like. You need to learn, so let me teach you. So you're coming in, and then you see some incredible transformation. We have some incredible stories, and I'm sure every franchise system does. and the success that we have, it has to do with these great franchisees that we've had that have taken on and actually listened and applied some of the policies and procedures and technologies and other things that we created to make them successful.
I guess, Tarek, sometimes yourself or your staff, if you see a prospect maybe sometimes a little too entrepreneurial, I guess you really have to speak to them to let them know that it might not be a fit with your company.
We used to do. I remember in the beginning doing that a lot to let people know that I love your passion, I love your energy and everything, but you keep talking about your experiences and how you've done stuff. There may be a bit of a conflict there. We may always get into a bit of a tussle. So you have to look at this, that we have systems and standards, and we've experimented with these. We've actually mastered them, and we've proven them at multiple times. So you may want to turn around and try it a different way, but it's really not going to work. More, not necessarily only for yourself, but for the total success of the system, because there is consistency and everything, and we know what's going to work. So we have those conversations, but once you get to a certain number, a certain mass in your system, that comes up less and less. And I think there's a class of prospects or franchisees or new owners that start coming to you after a while to say, look, I want to duplicate what you've done. How do I do it? And they don't want to turn around and start from scratch. And that was great when we started to get a lot of existing franchise prospects, meaning they were in other systems, and when they came into our system, they found success very, very quickly because they had gone through those processes, and we gave them some tools that they did not have before, and they saw some benefits that they had not seen before, or had already gone through the process where we didn't really need to explain, and they turned their stores around very, very quickly.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you again next week with another edition of Franchise Interviews. Take care, everyone.